And for you to go out and complain about them booing after you blow a 14-point lead is downright pathetic. And Myles Garrett, one of the best edge rushers in the NFL, should be damn ashamed of himself. Everyone on that defense should be ashamed of himself. It was a pathetic showing, and the Browns, it's as classic as it gets. And I hate to say it.
Welcome to episode 55 of the Frenemies podcast. NFL review today. Reviewing week 2 of the NFL Slate. Some great finishes. If you don't see my background right now, the anger face. I've never seen a demise of a team like the Cleveland Browns in a minute 13 in my life, but we'll get to them in a bit. We will start with Chargers Chiefs. Are we reviewing the picks too? Are we just doing?
Yeah, we can do picks. That's fine.
We have to review the picks too.
All right. Well, let me find them really quick. I'll first just say it was Chargers Chiefs. I was on the Chiefs. I think everyone was on the Chiefs except for Carter. It was a great game. Justin Herbert being hurt was not ideal. You never want to see one of the best quarterbacks in the league get hurt. But I think the Chiefs proves that even without Tyreek Hill and a deep threat weapon, there's still a force in the FC. Patrick Mahomes is still phenomenal. Someone else take it away while I try to find my notes.
Yeah, I'll take it here. That's a game the Chargers should have won. Chiefs scored 2 touchdowns off just terrible pass interference calls by the officials. I don't want to take anything away from the Chiefs. Still a great game. They're still one of the best teams in the AFC, top 3 team in the AFC right now. But that's a game the Chargers should win. If you're a Chargers fan, you shouldn't worry. Your only concern should be Justin Herbert's rib cage. Your team is better than the Chiefs. You deserve to win that game. And I think they'll be fine going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Jack. If Herbert doesn't get hurt, it was really that pick 6 cost the entire game. Like that pick 6 was the complete momentum changer. That's what absolutely killed the Chargers. And that's what won the Chiefs the game. It was really that one play. Pip, any thoughts?
Nope, no, that wasn't covered.
All right. Should we get to the next game on the slate? Jackson, or should we have Jack start?
You guys want me to start this game?
First,
I'll start.
The game as Jets Browns. Let me just tell you how the game went, and then we can go through reactions.
Okay.
Browns offense looked phenomenal. They went up and down against the Jets. They really just didn't have possessions. First half, the Browns offense had 3 possessions, scored on 2 of them. Jets looked good against our defense, which was pathetic. Joe Flacco was able to pass through our defense. Other than 1 turnover, the Jets looked pretty solid offensively. But nevertheless, Browns were up 30-17 after a Cade York missed field goal or a missed extra point. Minute 13 to go. And the Jets found a way to win. They scored a touchdown on a botched coverage. They then recovered an onside kick, then scored a touchdown, all doing this without a timeout. And then Jacoby Brissett threw an interception with 7 seconds left on the 50-yard line. Maybe the most bizarre loss I've ever been a part of, not just Browns games, overall losses. The Browns were at a 99.9% chance to win, and in typical Browns fashion, found a way to lose to a quarterback who's 36 years old on a team that sucks absolute dick that did not even want to win that game. O'Neal.
Yeah. Again, I always like to consider myself the realist of the pod because I think I keep my takes in the largest realm of relativity. Here's what I'll say about this game. And I have a lot of thoughts. First off, it was the most classic Browns game I've ever watched. It's what they do. It's how they lose. It's not even a surprise. I was watching the game with my roommate and another friend of ours. When Nick Chubb scored, we made a joke. How could we lose this one? And then Flacco throws a touchdown. And my roommate and I, we look at each other. And we kind of give that there's no way we lose this. We give up the onside. We give the touchdown. Ball game. It was absolutely pathetic. I do have a bone to pick with one player in specific. His name's Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett should be dadgum ashamed of himself. To go to the presser after that game, and complain about the fans and say the fans should not have booed. The fans should boo. You blew a 14-point lead with a minute 55 against a 36-year-old named Joe Flacco and the Jets. It's downright pathetic. If that was Jim Donovan said it best, if that was a Broadway performance, it would have been canceled and they wouldn't have seen another show. It was an absolute shit show. Stefanski should be ashamed of himself. Joe Wood should be fired and should never be allowed back in the city of Cleveland. And this is my big concern as a Browns fan. For the last 3 years, you could blame Baker or you could blame Odell. You could always point to one of them and say, they're the reason. There's no chemistry. They're screwing it up. Who do you look to now? Baker and Odell aren't on that roster, but the 3 coaches remain the same. Or the 4 coaches. I'm going to say Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer did a horrible job too. It's absolutely pathetic. Joe Woods, minute 55, busted coverage, and then you give up a drive to Flacco to win the game. Mike Pfeiffer, you missed an extra point. You gave up a fake punt on 4th and 1, and you botched an onside kick. It's as bad as it can be. It couldn't have gone worse. And for all the Browns players, I'm concerned because you look at Denzel Ward and you look at Grant Delpit, and they're both basically blaming each other without blaming each other on Twitter. And you have Myles Garrett, he's been non-existent in the second half of his entire career. He goes out to the media and blames the fans for booing when the fans were tailgating Saturday, the day before in the Mooney lot. They got there early, they were loud, and they've gone to that stadium year after year after year after failure after failure after failure, and they've been there. And for you to go out and complain about them booing after you blow a 14-point lead is downright pathetic. And Myles Garrett, one of the best edge rushers in the NFL, should be damn ashamed of himself. Everyone on that defense should be ashamed of himself. It was a pathetic showing, and the Browns, it's as classic as it gets. And I hate to say it, but that's the playoffs. You have the Bills, the Buccaneers, the Dolphins, and the Ravens, and you have to play all of them without Deshaun Watson. Here's another thing. One last thing to add, because I'm very pissed off about this game. Before you traded for Deshaun Watson, you didn't need to get results in Cleveland. You were a team that was loved by all of the NFL. You were hardworking. You were gritty. That was the storyline of Cleveland football, and it had been for the last 100 years. Soon as you traded for Deshaun Watson, a man with 26 sexual assault allegations, whether he did it or not, as soon as you traded for him, and as soon as you gave him $250 million in guaranteed money, all of that storyline, all of that went down the drain. It's gone. Now you have to get results. If you don't get results, you're not a football team, and the Browns should be downright ashamed of themselves for the performance on Sunday.
I would like to comment on Jackson. Let everyone go around first, but I would like to come back around to Jackson's last comment there.
I thought.
Oh, nope. Shut up. Let
me go first. Let me go first. I'm not saying a lot. I'm not saying a lot. Then you can go off. Okay. I'm not saying a lot. I agree with almost everything Jack said. I think Joe Wood's body parts should be ripped apart and scattered across Cleveland because that was absolutely atrocious. I think Myles Garrett's comments after in the media were absolutely ridiculous. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard him say. Probably the second dumbest thing he's done in his career. And I think Denzel Ward's comment on Twitter was very immature, very teenager. It was just he pretty much blaming his teammates. Him and Grant Delpit are acting like 4-year-olds, whether whose fault it was or not. They're both idiots. So I think the way they handled it, especially the only person I respected after that game was Petonio. Joel Petonio said it flat out. He goes, "That was a game we should have won. We shouldn't have given the fans a reason to boo," which is completely fair. These fans are going to these games. They're spending their hard-earned money, and they watch that shit show performance in the last minute and a half. I might do more than boo. I might bottlegate. That's how pissed off I was. I was so mad to the point where I think I could kill a human. That's how angry I was after the game. Like, inner me, I wanted to literally just punch something so hard. I was so inner angry after that football game. So I think Myles Garrett saying that is one of the stupidest things he's ever said. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Carter, all of you.
Myles Garrett said one thing that was correct and one thing that wasn't correct in that post-game interview. Telling fans not to boo is incorrect and wrong. I'll agree with Jackson there. But telling the fans not to give up on this team yet is not wrong. And it's what you should do. What you should do.
Hold on, I didn't say that. I said it was him calling out the fans for booing. I said he can't do that. I didn't say anything about giving up.
I know. I'm just saying that. I agree with Delpit and Grant Ward. Or Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit. But to say that Myles Garrett, who fades in the second half, let's Let's pull up the stats. Let's fact check that. In the first half in his career, and we'll just go last year because the stats for this year aren't provided yet. Myles Garrett in the first half has 7 sacks. Okay. In the last 2 minutes of each half, he had 2.5 sacks. And in the second half, he had 9. So for not being a second half player, to have more sacks in the second half and the first half is a little bizarre.
No, Carter, here's the thing. Look at players like Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, TJ Watt. You know the big difference against about those three? In the fourth quarter, with 2 minutes to go, game on the line, out of those 3 players, who's in the backfield getting the game-winning sack? It's Aaron Donald, it's TJ Watt. Can you remind me the last time Myles Garrett had like a crucial late fourth quarter sack or a pressure even? If you can think of one, I'd be impressed because I can't.
Okay. If we're comparing it, let's pull up the stats. Let me go in and let me look at TJ Watts because calling possibly the best defensive Browns player to ever put on a uniform, saying that he is the reason is just mind-boggling to me.
No, it's not Miles' fault. Like Miles did play well, but I get where you're coming from, but I also get where Jack's coming from at the same point. Like Miles, like I don't know, a top number 1 defensive end gets a sack on that play and completely destroys their momentum on the last drive of the game.
He almost sacked Joe Flacco while being held.
If you're the best, I don't care if you're held, get the freaking sack. I don't care. If you're the best defensive end in the entire league,
That's your emotions talking.
Yeah, probably. But if you're the best defensive end in the entire league, win us that football game. This is a pathetic shit show that we're already in anyway. Win us that damn football game if you're the best defensive end in the entire league. Like that's a sack that he needs to make.
So has Watt made those sacks?
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Steelers games, but maybe. I'm not sure. I can fact check.
Because Watt has less sacks in this. Watt has less sacks.
Yes,
but he has less sacks than Myles Garrett in the second half.
No,
so how is that even possible?
When the Steelers need a sack,
I cannot sit
to get
here.
the ball back on a third down, they desperately need it. Watt is there.
Miles always gets his sacks on first and second.
Miles was there. He was.
No, if he was there,
we're not going to play Myles Garrett.
When the Jets were driving down with 40 seconds left, Myles Garrett was not on the field for the first 2 plays because he was too busy getting water to get some rest.
As he okay.
That's an issue.
That's
what makes you so angry sometimes about our defensive substitutions. When we need a stop, I would like
Myles Garrett that he's out, and then when Myles Garrett gets held, still gets a quarterback rush and forces Joe Flacco to throw the ball away to cause a 3rd and long. That's still on Myles Garrett, and it's also on Myles Garrett for giving up a 40-yard pass. Are we serious? When are we going to start putting the blame on? When are we starting to put the blame on Grant Delpit?
It's not just this game. This is overall, my only issue with Myles, who, by the way, I do think he will go down as the best Browns defensive player of all time, which is completely fair, and he's earned it. And he's an all-pro. Probably he's a top 5 player in the league. He is great. But when we need him, I just think his timing of sacks and his ability to rush the pass when we desperately need it, because we knew that our secondary was going to give up a touchdown if we allowed him to. We knew that. Myles Garrett is going against a rookie right tackle. Miles needs to make a play.
I'm not even sure. He can make a play.
We'll talk about that.
You can't say he made a play if he didn't even get a hit off on Flacco. He didn't even affect the pass.
He was dragging Flacco down, and Flacco threw it away. How was it on Miles?
No. If I'm not blaming Miles, but if you're going up against literally a rookie bum for the Jets, you get a game-winning sack there. Period. Point blank. If you're the best defensive end in the league, you get a game-winning sack.
You get a game-winning sack even when the quarterback is watching you run down his.
I don't care. I don't
Miles,
care. I honestly,
that's
no. I honestly don't care.
Carter.
You win that football game. If you're the best defensive end in the league, you win that football game.
Okay,
I honestly believe Aaron Donald.
You're standing 5 yards away from Myles Garrett. There's a 300-pound man blocking for you in front of him. You see Myles Garrett the entire time. All you have to do is throw the ball away before Myles Garrett gets to you. Think you throw the ball away? You think you can throw the ball? He should have
continuously done it. It is the final drive of the game, and you're about to have one of those pathetic losses, and maybe the franchise's history.
It's impossible for him to get to Joe Flacco in 1 second.
No,
Joe Flacco got the ball on 1.8 seconds in the game-winning touchdown.
No. Miles had plenty of time to get to the quarterback at one point. Miles had plenty of time to get to the quarterback.
Tell me where that was.
I don't know. I can't remember the exact damn time. But watching that football game, it seems like in the fourth quarter,
you two are so emotional all the time.
Time out. No, Carter, because this has been an ongoing issue with Myles Garrett since he's been in Cleveland. He's never there for the timely fourth quarter play. In 5 years, he hasn't been there for the timely, huge fourth quarter sack. He hasn't been. And I'm not like. I don't want to hold it against him because he's a hell of a player. And he's
having a sack in the fourth quarter doesn't make a difference if you're making the quarterback rush.
Myles Garrett in my lifetime has been the best defensive player I've ever seen put on a Cleveland Browns uniform. With that said, I've never seen him in the backfield of a fourth quarter game that matters. He's never back there.
You're doing the same thing that you did with LeBron. It's the same exact thing to Myles Garrett. You're making an enemy of the best player on the team. You're doing the exact same thing.
I think Gary Wiley, Myles Garrett is a defensive player. I have no issue with him.
Clearly not.
Myles Garrett's issue is he cannot get to the backfield when it matters. I genuinely cannot think of a time.
Listen.
Myles Garrett. So then why do other edge rushers, why do they get outside? Why do they get there when it matters? All these other big name edge rushers, T.J. Watt, Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald won the championship.
T.J. Watt has less sacks in the second half than Myles Garrett. I just told you that.
Fourth quarter.
Aaron Donald is fine. Yes.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry. We're spending too much time on Myles Garrett when there's more people to actually play. Because honestly, Myles Garrett was not an issue at all.
I agree. One last thing I will say.
I can't even comprehend.
Shut up. Myles Garrett helps us win games. He has
no. Don't tell me to shut up.
No, he has not won us a game.
Myles
Garrett has not won us a game. He has helped us win games. He has not won us a game.
That is unbelievable.
Okay. We got because Myles Garrett was
unbelievable.
I think there's a couple things I want to touch. First of all, to Jack's comment that we're out of the playoffs already, I think that's blatantly wrong. Because Jackson, first of all, you said Jacoby Brissett would suck and it'd be awful. He looked twice as good as Baker looked at all last year. Yes, Brissett was phenomenal last week. Jackson, I want to hear confirmation.
So that's fine. I'll say Brissett played phenomenally well on Sunday. Brissett was good on Sunday. But hold on, but
Jackson, I just need you to confirm a point.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Brissett looked great. The running game was doing phenomenal. Overall running blocking, pass blocking looked great. Offense overall, play calling was very, very good. Now, of course, defensively, it was an absolute shit show. But I don't see a way where it can get any worse because we still had 3 players that ranked top 10 on PFF on defensive rating, which means we have players making plays. We just have 1 to 2 retards that leave wide open guys for 80-yard touchdowns. Now, that fix is easier than having a bad players and bad scheme. We just need to communicate and not allow wide open guys, which I believe is an easy fix. Because going into the season, my only issue until Deshaun got back is that we had Jacoby back there throwing footballs. But if Jacoby can actually play like that, what he did on Sunday, I think we can compete. I think we around 500 gives us a playoff spot.
Hey, let me go real quick. I just feel like I see both of your points. Like, obviously, we're not out of the playoffs. It's 2 games in. Like, it's dumb to say we're out of the playoffs. But at the same time, I feel like that's a game so easily that you can go down 10, 12 weeks from now and look back and say, that is what cost us. You know what I'm saying?
I fully agree with that. I hate the point that saying we're already out of the playoffs.
I disagree with that. I don't think we're out. But
all right, let me get my 2 cents in real quick here, and then we'll move on to the rest of the slate. This is why I do think the Browns are out of the playoffs. Because Jacoby Brissett, I do not think is a good NFL quarterback. And I think Jacoby Brissett just played to his peak on Sunday. Like, you're not going to get a better Jacoby Brissett game than that. It was against the Jets, so it wasn't a special team. And if our defense is going to look like that, like, I'm sorry, Joe Woods has been the D coordinator for the last 3 years. What upside is there? Like, what do we get to look at that says, hey, year 3, Joe Woods finally clicks. He finally makes that adjustment that fixes all these communication errors and everything runs smoothly. Because you can't fire him now. There's not a defensive coordinator on the market. Who are you going to hire? You can't just promote someone from within to take over the entire defense. So that's my big thing, and that's why I don't think they can make the playoffs. And you look at who's on their schedule. Bills, Buccaneers, Dolphins, Ravens. They're losing all those games without Brissett. Oh, and Chargers. And they got to
Yeah.
play the Patriots.
They're
Like,
losing all 5 of
that's
those.
way too hard a schedule with Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback and Joe Woods as your defensive coordinator. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope so badly I'm wrong. And they go out and they change the defense and everything gets fixed. And just the Browns fan in me, I've had one playoff appearance in my 19 years on this earth, and it was during a pandemic. I don't think it's coming back this year. And I think this was a game. I think you had to start out 4-0. I think that was genuinely your only chance to make the playoffs. And I hate to say it, but I don't see it's like on election night. I don't see a path to 270. I don't see a path to the playoffs. And I hate to say it as a Browns fan because I have to say it every damn season.
I have a couple of issues with that. First off, defensively last year, we were phenomenal. The issue was the offense last year. The offense, the reason we didn't win games last year. So Joe Woods has shown that he does have the ability somewhere in that small brain of his to call an actual good scheme.
You don't have your fan card back.
Hold on.
Shut up. I won't hear from you. No, you're pathetic. You have absolutely no right to say that about me. Sorry that I'm the most realistic Browns fan here, and it's a failure every single season, and you know
You're the
nothing
most
about football.
realistic. How's your quarterback doing down in Carolina?
He's only one game behind the Browns right now.
He's terrible. I take Jacoby over him every day, every single day.
That's great, and that's why you'll never be in the NFL. Carter, look, here's the deal. The Browns are a blown call the Browns are a blown call in Carolina on that roughing the passer and a rookie 58-yard field goal away from being 0-2. That terrifies me.
And Baker Mayfield is two blown coverages away from passing for 110 yards.
That's blatantly wrong, incorrect logic.
It's not. If Cade York was in a 58-yard field goal.
There it is. There it is. There's a Panthers fan inside him right there. You're not a Browns fan. You're not a Browns fan.
Pathetic.
You're not a Browns fan.
You're downright pathetic.
You're not a Browns fan.
You just can't handle it. No, you just can't.
I can't handle what? Yes, I can't handle. No, you're right. I can't handle you pretending, getting on this podcast and pretending to be this diehard Browns fan. Yet, and you're really heart to heart. You really hope that the Panthers make the playoffs and do better than the Browns because you want to see
Panthers make the playoffs.
Because you're a Baker Mayfield fan. Baker Mayfield, the Browns.
You just make up the stupidest shit and you go with it because it's what fits in your tiny pea-sized little brain.
How you said you wanted the Panthers to win week 1.
No, I didn't. I picked them to win. I thought they were going to win. I was a 58-yard field goal away from being right.
One of you two has to help me here.
He said Panthers to win.
No. Hunter picked the Panthers. Hunter specifically said in the episode he would be rooting for the Browns.
I did too.
You said I hope Baker Mayfield goes off, and I wouldn't mind if the Panthers won. And I wouldn't mind if.
So you're just making that up. You're legit just spewing that out of your head.
Jackson Carr does have a point for the past.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. Because that's blatantly incorrect.
I hope Baker pops off against Cleveland.
Yeah, I wouldn't have hated it, but I wanted the Browns to win, and they did.
Okay, now, Jackson, that's where we're gonna have an issue. But I would like to say with Jack, the only problem I had with their whole little yelling at Carter thing was your logic saying that we should be 0-2. We had a 99.9% chance to beat the Jets. We should have won that game. We should
absolutely.
Okay, so I don't understand why you have to say we should be 0-2. I like that type of logic.
I'm just saying we blew a game so badly.
Because it works.
I don't think it is. It scares me how close we were to being 0-2. You get what I'm saying? Like we were legit this close to being 0-2.
And we were that close to being 2-0.
I understand, but it scares me. When you play the Panthers and the Jets, you shouldn't be this close to 0-2. Like you should win by a bunch. It should be a lot easier.
The only issue I'm having is we're not beating the Dolphins, we're not beating the Bills, and we're not beating the Buccaneers, and we're not beating the Ravens.
Hold on. We also never thought we would lose to the Jets. So unexpected things happen in football. So saying that we're going to lose every single one of those games is nonsense. Because statistically speaking, we will steal one or two. Because that's just how.
I hope you're right, but I don't see it. I hope you're right, but I don't see it.
All right. Any final thoughts on the Browns?
No, I think we covered it all. Oh, sorry. We probably should cover this last thing. Jack did have a tweet that had 3,500 likes. People blaming Nicholas Jamal Chubb for not going.
Don't even get me started.
The 1 yard line is maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. They expected him running full speed to stop after getting the first down and fall down at the half-yard line instead of going in the end zone and just expecting your defense not to give up 2 scores and an onside kick in a minute. So it was maybe the stupidest thing I saw on Twitter.
Well said.
Oh, and just one little call on ESPN. So our kicker last week kicked a 59-yard to win the game. ESPN tweeted nothing after the game. That whole day tweeted nothing. within seconds of the Browns giving up, like losing that game, and Nick Chubb, they supposedly causing the loss, they tweeted it right away. ESPN, fuck you. All right. Next game. Oh, I'm in baseball. Here we go. Lions Commanders. Lions bounce back. Dropped another 30 bomb, 30 piece. Offense looks pretty damn good.
Mhm.
And Carson Wentz is back to being Carson Wentz. Jackson, these are your Detroit Lions, so we'll go to you.
Yeah, I'll say this. The Lions restored the roar today, baby. I'm very pumped about that win. Consecutive games, the Lions put up over 30 points. That's a dangerous offense they got going on down there. DeAndre Swift looks good. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, is a top 6, top 7 wide receiver in the NFL. He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
Okay, hold on. Oh,
No, he is. He is the third player in NFL history to have 8 straight games with over 8+ receptions. Amon-Ra St. Brown does not get any of the credit he deserves. He is an absolute wide receiver 1 and is phenomenal. I think extremely highly of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff has a very legit wide receiver 1. Jameson Williams is not back yet. The Lions look good. And first-round pick Aiden Hutchinson had 3 sacks in the first half. The Lions are a legit football team this year, and I'm very excited for them. That was a big win against the Commanders.
I think if you said Amon-Ra has the potential to be a top 6 or 7, completely agree. Right now, there's no way in hell he's top 6 or 7.
He's top 10.
Cooper
He's
Kupp.
top 10.
no, he's
Cooper
not. Like, it's not even close. Like, it's
No, he is.
Here
I
we
don't
go.
think
Here we go.
You guys don't get – Amon-Ra St. Brown is not getting the credit he deserves. He's a top 10 receiver.
Here we go.
Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase.
Jackson, can I give you players? Jackson, let me give you a list, and you tell who's better. All right? Cooper Kupp.
He's top 10. He could be.
Devontae Adams. Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase.
Chase.
Debo
Diggs.
Samuel. No,
Debo.
you okay, thank you. Stephon Diggs.
Diggs.
AJ Brown.
I take Amon-Ra.
Nope, sorry. Like you asked him. No, like it's
He's
not
legit a target magnet.
my
He brings in so many
my
receptions a
God.
game. The
Jackson.
volume he brings to that offense is
on a losing
unreal.
football team. All right, so that's not even close.
Jackson. I think he could be. I don't think he's there yet, but he easily could be. I think he easily could be by the end of
He
the
is
year.
legit.
By the end of the year, he could be top 10. But right now, I mean, it's
I
hard
think
to-
he's there right now. He is a legit wide
I think
receiver.
he's top 10. It's just not even close.
No, because he only played like 4 or 5 games last year. Like toward the end of the stretch is when he finally broke out. Like when he finally
last year was his rookie year, and he was a rookie 4th-round receiver. Of course,
I know.
he's not going to get a lot of playing time early.
I know this is his second game in the second year, so you can't say he's top 6.
No. As soon as he broke out last year, it's just been consistent. 8+ receptions each game. 3rd player in NFL history to accomplish that
Jackson,
feat.
it's not exactly they have a ton of weapons for him to target. Any pass is going to go to Amon-Ra.
Okay, but
I'm curious
how come other teams that have just one wide receiver, how come that receiver's not getting all the volume? And the Lions quarterback, because the Lions quarterback is Jared Goff. So it's not like Jared Goff is this phenomenal quarterback that can get his receivers involved. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a very legit wide receiver.
I'm curious to see when Jameson Williams gets back, how that affects the offense and how Amon-Ra responds to that. I'm just interested because I think Amon-Ra could be a sell high candidate, like fantasy wise, right now, possibly. But I don't know.
I would say, Jackson, I know you're very high on the Lions, and I think we all root for the Lions. They lost to the Eagles, and then they beat the Commanders. So it's not exactly they're playing these, top tier opponents yet. So saying they're already,
I think the Eagles look like a top tier opponent. I mean, they just annihilated the Vikings on primetime.
The Lions were down 3 scores with 4 minutes ago, and the Eagles played prevent, and they got back to the game.
Yeah, well, say this about Dan Campbell and the Lions. The team doesn't quit. They continue to fight, and it's different than the team we just covered.
Well, I know. I just don't. You said they've arrived. I don't agree with that. Carter, do you have anything about the Lions game?
No. St. Brown, top 7.
All right, sorry. Here we go. Buccaneers, Saints. Buccaneers won by 10. I think the biggest story from this game was the brawl that broke out.
Are we serious right now?
All right, no, sorry, we have to restart the call now. We're not just showing my mother on the podcast.
Jake, you moron. It's a spotlight podcast. Whoever talks is who's on.
You were talking last.
No, I wasn't talking. You were talking. No one saw that except you.
All right, just go. Continue. Nothing happened. Just continue. Nothing
Hayes,
happened.
Hayes. Cut where
Yeah,
Jake was
we're gonna
talking
cut
and
that
then
out.
restart right
Jackson.
here.
It's called timing. Why?
Jake.
No, you will not. No, you're not going to Jake me. I'm in mid talking. You're going to picture my mother. Like, are you mentally retarded? That's something Hunter would do.
Okay, pick it up right here. Go.
No, I will go when I want to go. Dumbass. Buccaneers Saints. Buccaneers won by 10. I think the biggest storyline from this game, it was pretty ugly, but Marshall Lattimore and Mike Evans got into it after Lattimore was talking shit to the Buccaneers bench, then talking shit to Tom Brady, which just set everything off. That honestly started a fire under the Buccaneers defense and offense, and I think that brawl is the reason they won this game.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Like a Saints win by a field goal because the Buccaneers just can't figure it out, and that thing just kickstarted them right off, and they ended up winning the game. Also, Carter, your Jameis MVP take is looking just god awful right now.
No, I feel like, I don't know. The Saints, I think it looking like, especially the first half, it looked like a classic Saints Tom Brady game, like where the Saints just owned Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And Marshall Lattimore is a fucking idiot. He's a moron. I hate Marshall Lattimore. First of all, why are you talking shit to the opposition sideline? Not the players, but the coaches. Like, the guys are supposed to respect, and I feel like it's kind of somewhat of an unwritten rule to not talk shit to the other team's coach. Like, that's just a little like come on. And then when Brady said something, oh, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Because, like, obviously, I think the entire Bucs team knows that, like, don't talk shit to Brady. And Mike Evans, I have him in fantasy in, like, a bunch of leagues, so it kind of screwed me because I was suspended. But I'm glad to see Evans. I would have done the same thing. So.
Carter Jack, this is a four-way podcast. If one of you would like to open the mouse, that would be phenomenal right now.
Yeah, no, it just makes sense that Carter's Super Bowl take, they're already 1-1 and look awful. That's all I'll say.
It was a weird game. They'll be fine. They have to figure out. Michael Thomas looks like the number one receiver he is. He's also better than Ahmad St. Brown. So, I mean, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, next game, Baker's Panthers against the Giants. Bakey Bear is now 0-2.
He looks like dog shit.
He hasn't
Like you on the
great.
basketball court.
There he is. Attack. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We do this every time. I make a statistical valid point, and he just character slanders.
Hold on. See, yeah, this is where I'll support Carter. Jackson, you do tell Carter that all of his arguments, like, he just starts attacking you personally and your characteristics, then you do the same thing back to him.
No.
I don't attack his personal characteristics ever. I say the facts of the situation and how
You've
it
never
is.
once given a fact.
Okay.
I just did.
Okay. No, sorry. No, not right now. Not right now. But yeah, Giants won. Defense looked good. Saquon didn't look great, but they won the game anyway. The Giants are now 2-0. Who knows? Maybe they can push for a wild card spot, especially actually, no, the Eagles in that division. But
the Eagles, they get not the Eagles, the Giants get the Cowboys on prime time without Dak Prescott.
Giants.
I think
Rush.
I think they do too. I think it's I think it's one of those low scoring, like battled out games. But the Bull has shown that like those are his games, and he's 2-0 in them.
No, honestly, the Giants look like okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Giants don't look that bad. Like, I think they could honestly finish with 6, 7, maybe even 8 wins.
Like almost
Giants,
commendable. Like
no, yeah, like respectable.
It's like watchable
yeah.
football.
No, like respectable again. The Giants are not that bad, and Saquon Barkley's he's very good. He is very good, and people forgot how good Saquon was. Daniel Jones, if he can just keep doing what he's doing and get it to his playmakers, I honestly think that the Giants could be okay. Because the defense is solid, and the running back is amazing. And the line is better than expected. So I honestly feel like if Jones can keep doing what he's doing, the Lions can be okay. Jackson, what are your thoughts on the Panthers and Baker so far?
Yeah, not good. Baker looks bad. I won't even lie. I'm a little upset by it. I hope he bounces back. I will always love and respect what Baker did for Cleveland, but it's been a really tough start. Like, this is why no one respects you. It's because that's just blatantly inaccurate.
What championship did he win? Remind me. Did he win a Super Bowl?
Remind me the last Cleveland quarterback in the playoffs, and then keep talking.
I don't care. It's just like your dumb tweet.
So
that
this is why you're a bad Brown.
I don't care. I don't care. I
Okay,
don't
so this is why you're a bad Browns fan. You don't
care.
Okay, I get it. You don't care. I get it, Brian. You don't care.
I want to win a Super Bowl. Win a Super Bowl. Win a Super Bowl. And guess what? Bakey Poo doesn't give us
Hold on.
chance in hell to win a Super Bowl.
Hold on. The Browns have not been to the playoffs in like 20 years. Yes, the Baker was the quarterback of the team that got us there. I respect Baker's heart and the way he plays football. Was he a bad quarterback last year? Yes. Did I want him gone? Absolutely. But the 2020 season, Baker, especially the last like 7 games, he did play well and did get the Browns to a playoff appearance, which we haven't seen in a long time. So obviously, I completely agree. Super Bowl, yes, 100%. And Baker Mayfield would have never gotten us there. But there is some admiration for him because you have to start somewhere. We can't just go straight to the freaking creme brulee. Like we got like half of the creme brulee. We got a tasting of the creme brulee. So now that we have a tasting, we can get to the full serving. Okay. And I feel like Baker gave us like the sample size a little bit. So that is all I have to say about Baker. I'm not defending him necessarily because he sucked ass, but he did do that for the Cleveland Browns.
When Baker needed to be a great quarterback in 2020, he was. We had a lot of games we had to win, and we won practically all of them with the exception of the Jets game when we had everybody out due to COVID. If Baker played bad in any of those games down the stretch, we lose. Straight up, we lose, and we never go to the playoffs. And I'm still playoffless in my 19 years on God's beautiful earth. I will forever have nothing but admiration and respect for Baker Mayfield. In my lifetime, I've never seen a player care about the city of Cleveland as much as Baker Mayfield has. Even the supposed king of basketball, who was born and raised Akron, Ohio, left Cleveland twice. I will thank LeBron for that championship, but he left us twice. And Baker begged Cleveland to draft him #1 overall to the factory of sadness to where no quarterbacks ever succeeded. For that, I will always have great respect and admiration. With that said, he looks terrible through 2 weeks, and I hope he picks it up.
The moment when Baker beat Pittsburgh will always be a great moment, but the moment the Browns win the Super Bowl, hopefully with Watson, will be an exponentially better one.
Mm-hmm. Completely.
Yeah, but then so I don't understand why you go out and you bash Baker. Yeah, we want to win a Super Bowl. Why shit on the guy that got
because Baker acted like a clown last year, and you made me hate him the way you just.
You're the reason Browns fans can't be happy. Let's move on. After the Panthers Giants, what was on the slate after Panthers Giants? I do believe it was New England Pittsburgh. No, it was New England Pittsburgh.
No, you're right. That's not the end.
Yeah, Mac Jones threw for 250. Matt Canada, I believe, has established himself as the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL. The Steelers' offense is the worst in the NFL. Really weird game. I don't think anyone thought the Patriots were going to win. They did. Any thoughts?
Not really. I thought the Steelers were going to start 2-0.
I did too.
Steelers defense very good. Steelers offense sucked butt, and I think that's how it's going to be the entire season. Carter.
The Steelers are in trouble. They need Watt. They're going to be bad. They're going to be bad offensively, and they need to win games with their defense. And when he's out, that defense is completely different.
Yeah, then that's correct.
So.
Well, keep going, Jake.
Next game?
Yeah.
Do you want to point out I did pick the Patriots, and this next game, spot on. My Jags destroyed the Colts. And like I said, I think I called this out 4 or 5 months ago when I called Matt Ryan most overrated offseason signing. The Colts have not looked good at all. Granted, they had no receivers, but even when they had receivers last week, they still don't look good. And that was against Houston, and now it's against the Jacksonville Jaguars. If they can't, they're facing the Chiefs, Titans, Broncos next 3 games.
You know what's crazy? The Broncos is the most winnable of that game.
Yeah. So this team honestly could be like 1-3, 1-4, and then maybe they get in the gear, but it's like their strategy of just having a old quarterback that's just good enough be their starting quarterback. They had Philip Rivers, they went to Carson Wentz, and now it's Matt Ryan. I think it's time they draft a guy or trade for an elite quarterback because they have an elite offense and a pretty good defense, and they just haven't put in that last little thing at quarterback to push them over the line.
Yeah. No, like I said last week, the AFC South is awful, literally awful. Like the I thought the Colts were good enough to at least beat the Jags. Not only did they not beat the Jags, they got mollywopped by the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is absolutely pathetic. The Colts suck, the Titans suck, and the Texans and Jaguars won't go anywhere this year. I think the AFC South will be the worst division of football this year by far. By far.
My biggest takeaway was how the hell does Jonathan Taylor only touch the ball 9 times?
Yeah, no, that's pathetic too. Like I know they were down a lot. They were down a lot of points, so they had to throw the ball. But Jonathan Taylor's being 30 carries a game.
Well, they had to be down 7-0 at some point, and he should have gotten the ball 6 times in the first possession. How does your best player and a top 3 running back in the league touch the ball 9 times? How does he carry 9 times?
With no Michael Pittman and no Alec Pierce. So they legit were down. And I think who's the other guy? I think Paris Campbell was hurt too. I legit think it was their 4th and 5th string, the only ones available.
Like Matt Ryan, I don't know if the Colts front office is like in a time warp or they're still in 2016 when Matty Ice was an MVP. But Matty Ice is now just an above average quarterback. Everyone else is under the impression that you have to lean on Jonathan Taylor the same way the Browns are leaning on Nick Chubb. That's what they should be doing. He should touch the ball like he did in week 1, 31 times a game. He should be a workhorse.
If I was Taylor, I'd be pissed.
Yes.
Next game here, Dolphins-Ravens. Dolphins scored 4 touchdowns in 15 minutes, final quarter.
What a game.
Won a game that honestly they had no business winning, but they just took it right under the Ravens' hands and kind of adds on to the AFC North's misery weekend. And honestly, I wouldn't get too high on Tua. He did look good. Now the guys were just wide open, and he hit them. You have to give credit where credit's due. But I think Tua's a good quarterback, and I think that offense is a lot more explosive than people kind of thought they were going to be, even with Waddle and Hill. But, yeah, and Mike McDaniel, offense looked good. Good for the Dolphins.
Yeah, no.
Especially on the road.
I'm not going to get too high on Tua. But I will get too high on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They legit could be the best wide receiver duo in football. I honestly think by the end of the year, they could genuinely be the best wide receiver duo in football. Not only are they phenomenal route runners, but they are so damn fast that they literally just the yards after catch that they have is unbelievable. Like they run by people. Like especially Waddle last game. I think Waddle and Hill both had like 40 fantasy points or something ridiculous like that. And it was a lot of it was because of yards after catch. Like they are so fast and so shifty, and the 2 receivers like that on one team, I honestly think they could have a chance to be like top 2. Like they could be a top 2 tandem in the NFL.
You know, those 2 and the Mike Gesicki in the slot, just taking all the checkdowns, it's a really good offense. Carter Jackson, thoughts?
I'm more on the other side. I think the Ravens are going to figure it out defensively. I don't think that sort of collapse will happen again. But Lamar Jackson is coming. Lamar Jackson for 3.5 quarters was the best player on the field, and it wasn't really close.
Yeah, no, you're right. Lamar looked really good. Like,
yeah, he's coming. Yeah,
he's coming.
Lamar's coming. I'll say this.
Nice.
I thought Tua was. You said it. I thought Tua was a bad quarterback. I never gave Tua any respect, and I never did. I'll give him his respect after that. That was such a gutsy win by Tua, because it wasn't only that he threw 6 touchdowns, it was that he threw a game-winning touchdown with less than 20 seconds to go. He never folded. That's really damn impressive.
Yeah.
And then real quick, just to wrap up this game, I saw this on Twitter today when I was walking to class, and it was a video of Tua throwing, but the video flipped, so it was Tua throwing with his right hand. And when I saw that video, I was like, that looks like a really legit quarterback. Like, that looks like a really nice, like, something about it. Like it looked like what Herbert or Mahomes looked like in the pocket. It looked really good. I don't know if that correlates to him being a lefty or anything, or like his throwing style from the lefty position, because I know nothing about that. But that video was really cool to see, and he looked like a legit quarterback when he threw it right-handed. So I would buy Tua stock. I loved what I saw from Tua.
So should Tua go righty?
He can't, but like I'll send you the video. Like it looked really cool watching him from like the right hand.
It was very cool. I would say, Jackson, you've been very low on Tua and very low on Trevor Lawrence. Both looked very good this week.
I'll still be low on Trevor Lawrence. He played a pathetic team.
A 95 QBR. 95 out of 100.
And, a blind squirrel, finds a nut once in a while. A broken clock is right twice a day. Like it's bound to happen. Baker had a top 5 QBR in the league last year. Like it'll happen.
Exactly. I'm still waiting for Baker to find the nut again.
You wanted the Browns to keep a blind squirrel for this year?
No, I'm just saying Baker
like
sucked last year.
Okay. Next game, Falcons Rams. Rams were up 28-3. And somehow, some way, the Falcons were coming all the way back. And then in Falcons fashion, they ended up throwing a pick and lost the game. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have with this game.
Rams I had Rams my Super Bowl contender. I'm regretting that. They do not look like a Super Bowl team. That's about it.
I think McVay's out the next 2-3 seasons.
That is one of the most outlandish, dumb.
And here comes in Hunter. And here comes in Hunter tailing Jackson O'Neal like the little dog that follows us.
Hold on. Shut up.
No, actually, I agree.
They two can ride each other.
I don't think he gets fired. I think he retires. Mark my words. A few years from now, the Rams are going to hit the struggle bus. McVay is going to retire, and he's going to get a ridiculously lucrative deal from Fox Sports to be a commentator.
I don't know if you can read that, Jackson. It just says blatantly that you're wrong. I don't think that Sean McVay, who works in Los Angeles, gets paid millions of dollars to do the job he loves, would then take a desk job where he just gets to talk about football and get paid less.
Yeah, it would require almost no work. It would require almost
things I have ever heard in my life.
We need to move on.
Here's why. Because
we need to move on. We're not doing this anymore. We're not continuing to entertain these blasphemous takes from Jackson. We're moving on.
He's already won a Super Bowl. He's young. He's won a Super Bowl and he's young. No, Carter, you don't tell me what to do. He won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl and he's young. Okay. He's got a family. He's going to be a dad soon. I can only hope. And if he took this job at Fox Sports, he would be making much more money than he would be as a head coach. And a lot less work.
True.
Brady's going to make more as a commentator after he retires than he did over the entire course of his NFL career. They pay out a lot more money in the broadcasting booth than they do to the players and coaches.
Jackson, Sean McVay
moving on
loves football so much that he can reconcile a play that he called for the Washington Redskins in 2015. Ever seen that clip? The exact play. That man lives, dies,
I can do that too.
Leave the best job in the league with the richest owner to go work for CBS Sports and talk next to Nate Burleson.
You can't remember what you ate for breakfast this morning, much less recall a play that you ran your Pee Wee football game 11 years ago because you haven't played football since. So I don't hear from you.
Hold on. Brad Korb was my head coach. The play call was two left. Two meant the quarterback ran left.
We're moving on.
I didn't know my left and right.
We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on. Seattle, San Francisco. Seattle, San Francisco.
I'm
back to normal.
Trey Lance being hurt is. I was very high on Trey Lance, fantasy-wise and just overall wise, and it was kind of heartbreaking seeing Trey Lance go. And
I agree.
Jimmy Garoppolo is about to go on a Nick Foles type run, and the 49ers are going to challenge for the Super Bowl. That's my hot take. I'm jumping so hard on that bandwagon right now.
Well, I don't hate that. Jackson was also very high on the 49ers, so I wonder how it's going to affect his take, you two being in the same boat, but we'll see how that goes. And I don't think
He's learning. It took him 2 weeks, but he's learning. But
Um,
anyways, the play was 2 left, and I took it right, and I ran 60 yards down the sideline for a touchdown.
Shut up. All right. Next game, I would like to make a point here. I'm pretty sure I also said 2 to 3 months ago that I said that I was very low. Oh, sorry, Carter. I'm so sorry. Did you have a point? I'm sorry. Go on. Keep going.
Nope. It was. I'm just agreeing with you. It was me and you both said the Super Bowl hangover.
Oh yeah. Super Bowl hangover that the Bengals were going to suck for a little bit. That it's going to take some time after the heartbreaking loss, but their offensive line still sucks. And little Jackie boy, who's still not paying attention, said they're going to be fine, and said they improved their offensive line with Petit Friere, I believe, at the left tackle or whatever, protecting them. They're still pathetic.
Lyle Collins and Alex Kappa.
Collins. My bad.
Alex Kappa.
Yeah, they still suck. They I think allowed the most sacks in 2 games still. Joe Burrow doesn't look right. Me and Carter were extremely right on this one. Yeah. Jackson, would you like to talk about a take that you were extremely wrong on? Mr. Realist.
Einstein misses here and there, but I don't think I've missed yet. They're only 0-2. And again, you guys just talked about, the Browns are this close to being 2-0. The Bengals were also this close to being 2-0. If McPherson made the extra point, or if the Bengals didn't give up the field goal at the end of the game in regulation.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying that's exactly what you guys just said.
Flip-flop
blatant flip-flop that you do every single time.
I'm using your words. How is that flip-flopping?
A brick wall.
I didn't flip-flop.
So you argue that the Browns should be 0-2, and then you argue that the Bengals should be 2-0. That's also why Carter wants to take your fan card away, because you make these type of statements.
No. See, this is you guys are misconstruing my words against me like a good court lawyer. Carter, I hope you mute yourself. It would make this much easier for me. I'm just saying, the Bengals, again, like the Browns, this close to 2-0, this close to 0-2. The Bengals should be scared.
5 times
and
in a game.
Burrow's been sacked 13. And Burrow's been sacked 13 times in the first.
Cowboys with Cooper Rush throwing a football.
I'm not saying the Bengals are in a good spot right now. Burrow was sacked 13 times in the first 2 games with a completely revamped offensive line. The Bengals should be worried. I'm just saying this take for me looks bad right now. But again, we're 2 games in, and they're that close to being 2-0.
I don't know where you go if you're the Bengals. You're not looking to get a new quarterback because, yes, Joe Burrow has struggled this year, but it's not like you're going to go try and get a new guy. I mean, Joey B's the guy. Like, he has to be the guy for the Bengals. He has to be. You just revamped the offensive line. They've looked like shit. So do you go back and revamp the offensive line again? I feel like the answer is no. I feel like you can't do that either. You have the best weapons in the NFL in Higgins, Mixon, Chase, and Tyler Boyd, and your defense is very solid. So I feel like the only guy you look at to put the blame on is Zach Taylor. I think Zach Taylor will be fired by the end of the season. I think the Bengals have a very, very, very below average season to the point where Taylor is going to get fired because I don't know who else you can put the blame on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so hard. Like, yeah, you can blame Joey Burrow, but you're not going to get rid of Joe Burrow. Like, you're not going to get rid of him. He's your guy. So I feel like Zach Taylor could very well not have a job at the end of the year, even after he was just literally coach of the year candidate.
Honestly, I don't hate that at all. I would say I feel like they're just so young at their most talented positions, and I think the Super Bowl hangover was something that was going to come. They expected things to be easy like they were last year, and with more film, defensive adjusting has been a little bit harder. So I think they will end up being fine when your best players are a combined age of like 23. It's just there's going to be issues. They just don't have a lot of veteran leadership on the team.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Next game here, the Texans-Broncos. I would also like to talk about the Broncos. I've been on this too. Russell Wilson, extremely overrated. People expect this team to finish first in division. They expect the team to be explosive. This team sucks.
Yeah.
They don't look creative. With Jerry Jeudy, with Cortland Sutton, Russell Wilson, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, all these weapons, new offensive head coach, already an elite defense, and this team is still struggling to beat the Texans, and they lost the Seahawks. This team, I don't know. And I think the Bengals will figure it out. I think this team is not going to be pretty. And I could see Russell Wilson possibly retiring early if this just doesn't work out or gets traded or something. Because I don't like this team. I don't like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You got to check. I got like one thought only on the Broncos. Nathaniel Hackett reminds me of someone who used to coach a team in Orange, eerily similar to Freddie Kitchens.
Freddie. No, because at least Freddie was fun. This team just sucks.
I'm not talking like pre-OC Freddie. I'm talking like head coach Freddie. No discipline. Offense has no clue what they're doing.
Plain incompetence.
Just pure stupidity at the end of the games. That's my takeaway from Denver.
Yeah, Hackett is a horrible hire. Russell Wilson looks absolutely washed. Yeah, Jake, you were right about the Broncos, I think. I thought this team I didn't think they were going to win the division. I wasn't that high on them, but I thought they were going to be a good football team. Like, I thought they were going to be a very good football team. I mean, they have, on paper, all of the right pieces. Their defense should be really good. They have Jeudy and Sutton and Alberto, which are three really, really good options as well, with a dynamic punch in Melvin and Javonte, and one of the best quarterbacks of all time in Russell Wilson. So, yeah, it just looks like Wilson's washed completely, and Hackett's a moron.
Carter, I'm going to take those blanks as if you have nothing to say. So, move on to the next game. Cardinals, Raiders. Cardinals upset here. I don't know. Going into our pick'em, I said this would be a weird game, but I was convinced to take the Raiders. And the Cardinals ended up pulling it out. They were part of the 3-4 games where teams came back in the fourth quarter and won. And Kyler Murray was Kyler Murray on that 2-point conversion when he was running around for 30 yards and took 20 seconds, and he still found the 2-point conversion. That was just classic Kyler Murray. Granted, that's not sustainable, and he can't just keep doing that. And this team needs to have a plan and just win games with good offense and good throws and a good scheme. But the Cardinals proved they could still win games. They beat a good Raiders team, and now the Oakland Raiders are 0-2.
That all on October 28th, the Arizona Cardinals season. So it doesn't really matter.
No, I would like to say the Cardinals suck. The Raiders will be completely fine. The Cardinals are ass. The Cardinals will not win football games like that. Kyler Murray is not a good quarterback. Yes, he showed up in the clutch, but he is not a good quarterback, and he will not do that again. I think the Cardinals are very, very below average here.
Yeah, Hunter, you're spot on. Cliff Kingsbury sucks. Kyler Murray sucks.
Cliff Kingsbury's an idiot.
No, I completely agree.
He runs it like it's Madden. He literally runs the offense like it's Madden, and it's honestly pathetic.
It makes me mad that he won that game because they didn't deserve it. And it's not an offense. It's Kyler Murray's got to run around there like a misfit, losing his toys, and he's got to go find the end zone.
And they got bailed out so many times. They legit had 2 or 3 penalties inside the 10-yard line that were on the Raiders that very easily could have been not called. I mean, they were very touchy, spotty penalties that helped them a ton, and that's what ended up getting the touchdown for them. So I don't know. I think a lot of things went their way, as well as Hunter Renfrow fumbling twice in the final 2 plays of the game. So I think they got very lucky.
All right. Last game, I think, was probably the most obvious result that I wasn't expecting. Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, and he destroyed them. Actually, no, not the last game, because Monday night. But Bears got destroyed. Packers looked good. But everyone, I think, was expecting that. Yeah. I mean, I got really nothing else in that game. It was pretty just self-explanatory.
I think the Packers, the one thing I will say is the Packers found their identity. They have to play through the 2 running backs.
Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Anyway.
Jake, the Monday night game.
Sorry. I'm distracted. Which one do you want to start with first? Bills game?
Yeah.
The Hunter call to an absolute T.
Just
Give credit where credit's due.
I'm gonna take my face away because I don't want to just have your minute.
Well, again, like I said last week, this also goes with the Colts a little bit. The AFC South sucks, but tonight really proved it, and it also showed that the Buffalo Bills are Super Bowl favorites by far. I mean, they absolutely dominated. The Titans couldn't do anything. Derrick Henry didn't look good. The line, I mean, I don't even know if it was Henry. It wasn't Henry's fault, but the line didn't look good. Ryan Tannehill looked like a complete ass. Yeah, that was really it. The Bills were just running circles around them all night. That was about all.
Stephon Diggs is basically unguardable at this point in time.
He's wide receiver one. He's very, very good at football.
But I mean, that's really all there is.
Yeah,
So,
that's about it. Wasn't much. There was just a butt racing, like I said.
yep, we're gonna act like we know what that means.
Okay.
The
Sorry, Jack.
Bills. Hunter's words. Butt race the Titans. Hunter, great pick. The Bills. This will be my overreaction for the week. The Bills look like the first team since the Dolphins that have a legitimate chance to go undefeated.
So the Patriots that went to the Super Bowl undefeated didn't look like the second legitimate team. It was this year's Bills team.
Okay, hold on. You are so utterly stupid. That is in the past. That has happened. They are impossible for them to go undefeated.
You
So
just
the only
said
team.
No. You just said this.
Carter, I
Bills
don't
team,
think you understand. I don't think you understand.
No, I don't think you understand what you said.
No, you don't
I
understand.
don't think you understood what you just said. This Bills team is the first team. You said this is the first since the undefeated team. They aren't the first team to look like they could go undefeated. No. How about the 15-1 Packers or the 15-1 Chiefs a couple years ago?
Okay, I'm sorry you don't know what a past tense is. The Bills look freaking incredible. They have a legit chance to go undefeated. They won't, but I think they have a legit chance. And then Vikings, Eagles, that was the easiest game of the world to predict. Kirk Cousins on primetime, you can't pick them. The Eagles look phenomenal. They're going to be a real threat in the NFC.
Yeah, I agree with that. If it wasn't prime time, I honestly will probably pick the Vikings because I think the Vikings are still a very good football team. But Kirk Cousins absolutely sucks in prime time.
And if they weren't playing the Eagles, because you have your little man crush on Jalen Hurts.
I do blow Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Repeatedly.
Okay. Someone please end that.
For over a year.
And we need to just wrap it up.
It starts to pour.
Okay. Stop. Just stop. Jake, please end this.
Sorry. I also picked the Eagles. I just wanted to.
Great. Good for you.
We got to recap. Actually, no, we'll do that next episode. We'll recap like what your record was. But
I'm in first.
Thank you, Hunter. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.